The early morning light of August 13, 2018, fell on an empty home in Frederick, Colorado, a home where the loving husband had just enacted a secret that would obliterate his entire family. Shanann Watts, 34 years old and pregnant with her third child, was missing. Her two young daughters, 4-year-old Bella and 3-year-old Celeste, were gone too. Their disappearance was reported by a concerned friend, Nicole Atkinson, who found the house eerily quiet, Shanann's car in the driveway, her phone on a charger, and her shoes by the door. No note, no sign of forced entry, just a profound absence that would soon reveal a husband's monstrous betrayal. The initial call to 911 from Nicole conveyed a sense of growing dread. Shanann, usually meticulous and communicative, wasn't answering texts or calls. She had missed a crucial doctor's appointment. This was entirely out of character for the vibrant woman who juggled a demanding career as a sales representative for Thrive by Level, a direct marketing company, with the full-time demands of motherhood. She was a planner, a scheduler, a constant presence in her friends' and family's lives. Her sudden silence was a blaring alarm. When police arrived, they found Christopher Watts, Shanann's husband, appearing distraught and cooperative. He told officers that Shanann had returned home from a business trip around 1:48 a.m. after Nicole dropped her off. They had a conversation, he claimed, a difficult one, after which he left for work around 5:30 a.m. When he tried to contact her later that morning, she didn't respond. He expressed concern, confusion, and seemed utterly bewildered by her vanishing act. He invited the officers into his home, allowed them to search, and even provided a key for later access. This was the public face of ChrisWatts, the concerned husband, the devoted father, desperate to find his missing family. But what the officers didn't see, what the world wouldn't know for days, was the chilling precision of his actions in those early hours. They didn't see the silent, calculated steps he took, not to find his family, but to erase them. The apparent distraught state was a performance, a carefully constructed facade designed to deflect suspicion. This man, who would tearfully plead for his family's return on national television, was already deeply entangled in the web of his own dark secret, a secret that had already claimed 3 innocent lives and would soon shatter the illusion of his perfect family. The air conditioning was on, Shanann's favorite blanket lay on the couch, and a sense of unnatural calm pervaded the house. It was a domestic scene, perfectly preserved, yet utterly empty. Shanann Catherine Watts, born Ruzek, was a force of nature. She was charismatic, ambitious, and deeply dedicated to her family. From childhood, she battled systemic lupus, a chronic autoimmune disease which shaped her resilience and her drive. She understood the fragility of life and pursued it with a fierce intensity. She found purpose and community in her work with Thrive, using social media to share her life, her health journey, and her love for her husband and daughters. Her online presence painted a picture of a vibrant, loving mother, constantly celebrating her children's milestones and expressing adoration for Chris. Her daughters, Bella and Celeste, were the sun around which her world revolved. Bella, with her bright, inquisitive eyes and a spirit that already hinted at leadership, was 4. Celeste, a playful, mischievous 3-year-old, was known as Cece. Shanann often shared videos of them singing, playing, and laughing, showcasing a bond filled with joy and affection. These were not just children. They were her legacy, her heart, and her constant motivation. Shanann was also expecting a baby boy, whom she had already named Nico. The joy of this new life was palpable in her posts, a future she meticulously planned and eagerly awaited. The air conditioning was on, Shanann's favorite blanket lay on the couch, and a sense of unnatural calm pervaded the house. It was a domestic scene, perfectly preserved, yet utterly empty. Shanann Catherine Watts, born Ruzek, was a force of nature. She was charismatic, ambitious, and deeply dedicated to her family. From childhood, she battled systemic lupus, a chronic autoimmune disease which shaped her resilience and her drive. She understood the fragility of life and pursued it with a fierce intensity. She found purpose and community in her work with Thrive, using social media to share her life, her health journey, and her love for her husband and daughters. Her online presence painted a picture of a vibrant, loving mother, constantly celebrating her children's milestones and expressing adoration for Chris. Her daughters, Bella and Celeste, were the sun around which her world revolved. Bella, with her bright, inquisitive eyes and a spirit that already hinted at leadership, was 4. Celeste, a playful, mischievous 3-year-old, was known as Cece. Shanann often shared videos of them singing, playing, and laughing, showcasing a bond filled with joy and affection. These were not just children, they were her legacy, her heart, and their constant motivation. Shanann was also expecting a baby boy, whom she had already named Nico. The joy of this new life was palpable in her posts, a future she meticulously planned and eagerly awaited. ChrisWatts, on the other hand, was often described as quiet, unassuming, almost shy. He worked as an operator at Anadarko Petroleum, an oil and gas exploration and production company. Photos of him often showed him smiling, holding his daughters, or affectionately embracing Shanann. He was depicted as the steady, reliable partner to Shanann's more flamboyant personality. People who knew them described their relationship as loving, normal, even enviable. They had met online, married in 2012, and seemed to build a beautiful life together. But underneath this placid exterior, something was festering, a private conflict that would soon erupt with unimaginable violence. The picture of marital bliss, however, was not without its cracks. Like many couples, they faced financial struggles. They had filed for bankruptcy in 2015, burdened by student loans, medical bills from Shanann's lupus treatments, and general living expenses. While they had seemingly recovered, the pressure of maintaining their lifestyle, especially with another child on the way, was undoubtedly present. Shanann's enthusiasm for Thrive was partly driven by a desire to contribute financially and achieve a better life for her family. These pressures, often unseen by outsiders, can chip away at the foundation of any relationship, but they rarely lead to the unspeakable. What makes a seemingly devoted husband erase his entire family? This is the core, chilling question that haunted the early stages of the investigation and continues to trouble anyone who encounters this case. As the police investigation intensified, Chris's composure began to fray. Detectives noted inconsistencies in his story almost immediately. His body language during interviews was guarded, his answers rehearsed. He agreed to a polygraph test, a procedure often used in investigations but not admissible in court. The results were telling. He failed miserably. The interrogators pressed him, challenging his narrative, pushing him to reveal the truth he was so desperately trying to conceal. During the polygraph, Chris was asked if he knew the whereabouts of his family. He denied it. He was asked if he was involved in their disappearance. He denied it. The polygraph operator concluded that Chris was being deceptive. This was the first major crack in the facade of the grieving husband. The trained eyes of the investigators saw beyond the crocodile tears and the carefully chosen words, detecting the subtle tales of a man hiding a profound secret. The turning point came when investigators played Chris a video from a neighbor's security camera. The footage showed Chris backing his truck up to the garage in the early hours of August 13th, spending an unusually long time loading items into it, then driving away. This was significant because Chris had told police he had simply left for work that morning. The video directly contradicted his statement, placing him at the house for a much longer period and engaging in suspicious activity. Faced with undeniable visual evidence, his fabricated story began to crumble. Do you ever wonder how quickly a meticulously crafted lie can unravel under the weight of truth? The interrogation room became a pressure cooker. Detectives, drawing on years of experience, began to dismantle Chris's narrative piece by piece. They leveraged the neighbor's surveillance footage, the polygraph results, and the sheer improbability of Shanann and the girls simply walking away without a trace. They emphasized the irreversible consequences of his deception, subtly suggesting that cooperation could lead to a less severe outcome, a tactic often used to elicit confessions. Finally, Chris broke. His first confession was not the full truth, but a partial admission designed to minimize his culpability. He claimed that he and Shanann had an argument during which she strangled their daughters. Enraged, he then strangled Shanann. He painted himself as a victim, reacting to a horrific act committed by his wife. This narrative, however, was quickly dismissed by investigators as implausible and inconsistent with the evidence. It was an attempt to shift blame, to maintain some semblance of his loving husband persona, even in the face of admitting murder. The investigators pressed him further, knowing his story was incomplete and self-serving. They highlighted the emotional toll his lies were taking on everyone, especially Shanann's family. They appealed to whatever shred of humanity might remain within him, pushing him to disclose the true fate of Bella and Celeste. It was a long, arduous process, a psychological battle of wills between experienced detectives and a man whose carefully constructed reality was collapsing around him. Eventually, Chris confessed to the full, horrifying truth. He admitted to strangling Shanann in their bed after a final, desperate conversation about their failing marriage. He then drove her body and his two still living daughters, Bella and Celeste, to a remote oil field owned by Anadarko Petroleum, his place of employment. There, he smothered Celeste with her favorite blanket and then did the same to Bella. He then disposed of their small bodies in separate oil tanks, pushing them through narrow hatches. Shanann's body he buried in a shallow grave nearby. His secret was no longer just a hidden life, it was a mass grave. The revelation of the oil field as the dumping ground for the bodies was particularly chilling. It showed a calculated, cold-blooded approach to disposing of evidence, leveraging his insider knowledge of the terrain and facilities. This wasn't a crime of passion in the heat of the moment, as he initially tried to claim. This was a man making a series of horrific, deliberate choices. The sheer brutality of murdering his own children, one after the other, in such a remote and desolate location defies comprehension. It painted a picture of absolute depravity, a stark contrast to the loving father he had so carefully portrayed. This stark contradiction between the public image and the horrific reality is what truly defines the Chris Watts case. On social media, he was Chrissy, the doting husband and father. Shanann's posts were filled with declarations of love, photos of their adventures, and tributes to her best friend and soulmate. She would post about his thoughtful gestures, his support during her health battles, and his unwavering love for their girls. Their life, as curated online, was a testament to enduring love and family happiness. Yet, behind the screens and the smiles, another life was unfolding. Chris had begun an affair with a co-worker, Nicole Kessinger, in June 2018. He had told her that he was separated and in the process of divorcing Shanann. This new relationship, a secret world he meticulously cultivated, was the catalyst for the destruction of his family. He wanted a new life, free from the financial burdens, free from the marital strife, free from the responsibilities of fatherhood. His secret was not just an affair, it was a complete rejection of his existing life and family. The juxtaposition of these two realities, the loving husband and the cold-blooded killer, continues to shock. How could a man so convincingly play the part of a devastated spouse while knowing he was responsible for such unspeakable acts? This profound disconnect between appearance and reality is a chilling reminder of the secrets that can lie hidden beneath the most ordinary exteriors. It makes you wonder how well we truly know the people closest to us and what hidden desires or frustrations might be simmering just below the surface. The evidence meticulously collected by investigators painted a damning picture. The neighbor surveillance footage, the GPS data from Chris's truck showing its route to the oil field, and perhaps most damning, the data from his own phone. His search history revealed queries about how much Adderall does it take to kill an adult, suggesting a premeditation that contradicted any claim of impulsive rage. He had also searched for quiet, secluded places to dispose of bodies. These digital breadcrumbs proved he was actively planning, calculating, and preparing for the ultimate betrayal. The discovery of the bodies at the Anadarko site was a harrowing process. Shanann's body was found in a shallow grave, her unborn child, Nico, a tragic casualty. Bella and Celeste were recovered from the oil tanks, their small bodies forced through openings barely 8 inches wide. The method of disposal was not just an attempt to conceal, it was an act of profound dehumanization, stripping them of any dignity even in death. The details of the discovery were kept from the public initially, out of respect for the victims and their grieving family. But they emerged during the legal proceedings, painting an even darker portrait of ChrisWatts' actions. What kind of mind can conceive of such an act, not once, but repeatedly, against those it is sworn to protect and cherish? The legal proceedings were relatively swift. ChrisWatts was formally charged with 5 counts of first-degree murder, 1 count of unlawful termination of a pregnancy, and 3 counts of tampering with a deceased human body. Faced with overwhelming evidence and fearing the death penalty, Chris entered into a plea agreement. On November 6, 2018, he pleaded guilty to all charges. The district attorney agreed not to pursue the death penalty in exchange for his cooperation, though the extent of his full cooperation and honesty about his motives remains debated. The court hearing where ChrisWatts was sentenced was a raw outpouring of grief and condemnation. Shanann's parents, Frank and Cindy Ruzak, delivered powerful victim impact statements, expressing their profound loss and detailing the excruciating pain Chris had inflicted. Cindy Ruzak spoke directly to Chris, reminding him of the family he had destroyed, the grandchildren he had murdered, and the trust he had so completely shattered. Their words were heartbreaking, painting a vivid picture of the vibrant lives he had extinguished. ChrisWatts himself offered no explanation, no remorse beyond a hollow apology. He sat impassively, barely making eye contact, a stoic figure completely disconnected from the devastation he had caused. He received 5 consecutive life sentences without the possibility of parole, plus an additional 48 years for the unlawful termination of a pregnancy and 36 years for tampering with deceased bodies. Justice, in a legal sense, had been served. He would spend the rest of his life in prison, incarcerated for his unspeakable crimes. But for Shanann's family and for the public, the question of why continued to linger. The ChrisWatts case became a morbid fascination for many, sparking intense discussions about domestic violence, mental health, and the dangers of online personas. The details of the case were widely publicized, from the chilling video of Chris appealing for his family's return to the gruesome specifics of his confession. For many, it served as a stark reminder that evil can lurk behind the most unassuming facades, and that the illusion of a perfect life can shatter into a million pieces without warning. The motive, to this day, remains a subject of intense speculation and debate. While Chris claimed the affair and a desire for a new life were primary drivers, many find this explanation insufficient for such extreme violence. The affair provided an opportunity for a different life, but why did it necessitate the brutal murder of his wife and 2 young children? Was it financial pressure, a deeper psychological issue, or a combination of factors that culminated in this horrific act? Many experts and commentators have grappled with the psychological profile of ChrisWatts. Some suggest he possessed traits of a narcissistic personality, unable to tolerate anything that threatened his carefully constructed image or his desires. Others point to his seemingly calm demeanor throughout the investigation as a sign of psychopathy, a lack of empathy that allowed him to commit such acts without apparent remorse. But definitive answers remain elusive. The human mind is complex, and the precise confluence of factors that transform an outwardly normal individual into a murderer is often difficult, if not impossible, to fully decipher. The contradictions continued even after his imprisonment. Initially, Chris claimed Shanann was responsible for the girls' deaths, an attempt to rationalize his own horrific actions. Later, in prison, he gave further interviews, offering slightly more detailed accounts, but never fully providing a satisfying or coherent explanation for the depth of his cruelty. He claimed he had snapped, but the evidence suggests a degree of premeditation. The exact emotional and psychological state that led him to murder his entire family, including his unborn child, remains shrouded in the dark corners of his own mind. One of the enduring, truly unanswered questions is the depth of his capacity for deception. To appear so genuinely distressed, to give interviews and make public appeals, all while knowing the horrific truth, speaks to a profound psychological detachment. How did he maintain that facade so convincingly? Was it a conscious, calculated act of manipulation, or was he so disconnected from his own actions that he could genuinely believe his own lies, at least for a time? The ability to compartmentalize such monstrous acts from his public persona is chilling and difficult for most people to comprehend. It forces us to confront the uncomfortable reality that some individuals are capable of unfathomable cruelty while maintaining an outward appearance of normalcy. We've explored the tragic events of this case, from the initial missing persons report to the chilling confessions and the subsequent sentencing. We've examined the public persona of Chris Watts versus the man who committed these heinous acts. Yet the full truth, the deep psychological unraveling, the precise sequence of thoughts and emotions that led a loving husband to destroy everything he claimed to cherish, remains a dark enigma locked away in his mind. This case forces us to ask profound questions about human nature, about the secrets we keep, and about the devastating power of betrayal. It's a stark reminder that the lives presented on social media or in public can often hide a deeply fractured reality. The Watts family tragedy is a wound that may never truly heal for Shanann's loved ones. If this story has made you reflect on the complexities of human relationships and the hidden dangers that can lurk within them, please consider sharing your thoughts in the comments below. Your insights help us to understand these difficult cases from new perspectives. Yet even with countless attempts to piece together the fractured timelines, to dissect every interview, every recorded moment, the true psychological mechanism behind Chris Watts' actions remains stubbornly elusive. We can analyze the stressors, the alleged affair, the financial pressures, and the perceived breakdown of his marriage, but these only paint a superficial picture of motive. They don't explain the utter void of empathy required to silence his own children, to dispose of their bodies with such cold calculation. It pushes us to confront a terrifying possibility that the capacity for such darkness might not be confined to the outwardly monstrous, but can fester beneath a perfectly ordinary surface. This isn't just about Chris Watts, it's about the unsettling mirror this case holds up to our own assumptions about human nature. How many times have we judged a person by their public face, their curated social media posts, their seemingly stable lives? The Watts case shatters that illusion, forcing us to question the narratives we consume and the identities people construct for the world. You might, like many, grapple with the profound disconnect between the image of the doting dad captured in home videos and the horrific reality of his deeds. This duality, this chasm between perception and truth, is perhaps the most unsettling aspect of all. It's a stark reminder that what we see, even in those closest to us, is often just a carefully constructed facade. Consider for a moment the sheer stamina required to maintain such a profound lie, not just to the world, but to himself, for as long as he did. Was it a complete detachment from reality, a self-imposed delusion that allowed him to justify the unjustifiable? Or was there a core of insidious narcissism, an unshakable belief in his own desires overriding all other human bonds? The precise moment, the internal switch, where a man crosses the line from marital discord to planned infanticide and exorcide, continues to baffle psychological profiles. It challenges the very framework of understanding human malevolence. If you've ever found yourself wondering how someone could possibly commit such acts, or how such a deep deception could go unnoticed for so long, then you're touching upon the enduring mystery that draws so many to cases like this. If these deeper questions about human deception and the fragile line between perceived normalcy and profound darkness resonate with you, please consider subscribing to Veritas Crime to explore more cases that challenge our understanding of human behavior. The implications ripple far beyond the immediate tragedy. It casts a long shadow over the trust within relationships, the vigilance of communities, and even the limitations of criminal psychology. We seek closure, we seek answers, a definitive why that can neatly categorize and explain the anomaly. Yet sometimes the answers refuse to conform. Sometimes the human mind, in its most corrupted state, operates on a logic so alien to empathy that it defies conventional understanding. The pain for Shanann's family is eternal, a wound that festers with every unasked question, every imagined alternative. For them, there is no satisfactory explanation, only the brutal fact of their loss and the lingering ghost of a man who once fooled them all. And for us, the observers, it leaves us with an uncomfortable truth, that even in the most seemingly idyllic settings, under the brightest lights of family photos, dark currents can flow unseen, ready to erupt and destroy everything in their path. It's a chilling testament to the hidden complexities and terrifying potentials that lie dormant within the human heart, capable of manifesting in ways we are perpetually unprepared to comprehend. It forces us to ask, what other hidden lives are being meticulously constructed around us, just out of sight? What else might be simmering beneath the surface, waiting for its devastating moment? The legacy of Shanann, Bella, Celeste, and Nico Watts lives on not just in the grief of their family, but in the chilling questions their deaths raise. What truly drives a person to such a horrific act against those they are supposed to protect? Was it simply a desire for a new life, or something far more sinister bubbling beneath the surface of the loving husband? We may never fully comprehend the answer to that agonizing question. ChrisWatts may be behind bars, but the unsettling enigma of his actions continues to haunt. Could such a profound deception be brewing in seemingly ordinary lives around us even now? It's a thought that lingers, a testament to the unpredictable depths of the human psyche. The pain for Shanann, Bella, Celeste, and Nico Watts lives on not just in the grief of their family, but in the chilling questions their deaths raise. What truly drives a person to such a horrific act against those they are supposed to protect? Was it simply a desire for a new life, or something far more sinister bubbling beneath the surface of the loving husband? We may never fully comprehend the answer to that agonizing question. ChrisWatts may be behind bars, but the unsettling enigma of his actions continues to haunt. Could such a profound deception be brewing in seemingly ordinary lives around us even now? It's a thought that lingers, a testament to the unpredictable depths of the human psyche.